Hey guys, I'm Caleb Giddings from Gun Nuts Media, and I'm about to make some of you very happy because you're not going to see my face in this video. Welcome to the unboxing, initial impressions, and holster fit test video of the new 4-inch Colt Python. Now, as you can see, we have the box here. I literally just picked this up from my FFL this afternoon, and what we're doing with this video is this is going to come out along with a series of articles on Shooting Illustrated. We're doing this first to set the table, and then we're going to do one article on Shooting Illustrated, and then we're going to do another article on Shooting Illustrated. What we'll be doing over the course of these videos and these two articles is really shooting the hell out of this gun. And we'll go into this in more detail on the Shooting Illustrated article, but basically what happened was when the new Python came out, and this is new manufactured obviously, when the new Python came out, there were a number of people who were like, oh, it won't be as good as the old one because it's not all hand fitted and blah blah blah, it's made by machines now with MIM parts and blah blah blah. And the problem with those statements is the reason why the old Pythons were made by hand and hand fitted and all of that stuff is because we didn't have CNC machines that could hold 1/1000th of an inch of tolerance back then, and we do now. So we contacted Colt and we said, hey Colt, I know how well you tested this gun. You put the samples of this gun in a dry fire fixture that dry fired the trigger 20,000 times, but people don't care about that. So let's see if we can shoot the hell out of this gun and demonstrate to people that modern manufacturing really is better than the old way, the hand-fitted way, and all of that stuff. And Colt said, sure. So what we have here now is a Colt Python in 357 Magnum made with modern manufacturing materials, modern manufacturing methods. I'm going to shoot 2,000 rounds through this gun. 500 of those rounds are going to be full house 357 Magnums. And we're going to record every trigger pull, including dry fires, that I do with this gun. After the first 1,000 rounds, which will consist of 750 38 specials of various pressures and blah, 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 and 250 rounds of Full House 357 Magnum, we'll write the first article for Shooting Illustrated. Then we'll do another 1,000 and we'll do another article for Shooting Illustrated. But that's all yet to come. Right now, let's crack this bad boy open. I do like when manufacturers send guns in hard plastic boxes, much better than when I get them in a cardboard box, especially when it's a gun like this, because I feel like a gun like this should be in something nicer than a cardboard box. As usual, we have the complimentary bike lock that all manufacturers send with us. Got a little tube of greasy Lucas oil, gun oil here. The outside of that is actually kind of slick, which is great. That'll probably end up getting tossed out because I have my own oil that I prefer. All right, and in here, inside the box, we have, Colt encouraged you to join the NRA and some more Lucas oil stuff. Here's what you guys really came here for. Honestly, that's a good looking gun. I like a nickel finish. I like that. I love the ribbed barrel. I have always loved these vented ribbed barrels on the Pythons. I just think they look so sharp. I like the wood stocks too. The little Colt medallion gives me good feelings. And again, I've always thought that the Colt revolvers were very, very good looking guns. So now let's do some initial impressions. Let's get this thing off of here. Now, I will say this to you guys. If you like the appearance of this gun, this is probably the last time during this test that it's going to look this nice, because when you shoot guns a lot, frig, get off of there. Watch me cut myself on camera. Nope, we're good. When you shoot guns a lot, they tend to get dirty. This is pretty nice, though. This is going to take some getting used to. This right here, pulling back to release the cylinder versus pushing forward or pushing a button. I've been pushing buttons and pushing forward on cylinder releases for over 22,000 rounds worth of revolver ammunition in my career. So suddenly having to change that up and pull straight back is going to be, well, it's going to be an adjustment. Good old 6-shooter. You can even see right there, you can see that it's a little dirty from where it was test fired at the factory, which, you know what? I appreciates that. I like that Colt is test firing these guns before they get out of the factory. All right, I'm going to get this box out of the way and get this thing on my workbench. Let's do a quick walk around of the gun. So here's what we've got. We've got adjustable rear sights, adjustable for windage and elevation. We have a very classic orange ramped front sight, which was the cool guy sight back in the day. We have a nice little Colt logo right here on the side of the gun. It says exactly what I want my Colts to say, Python 357 on them. Oof. This gun really does look good. I'm getting feelings holding this gun. Colts Manufacturing, Hartford, Connecticut. Got your little serial number right there. And in a touch of modernity, it has a QR code also on the receiver. So that's kind of neat. The moment we've all been waiting for. The first trigger pull. Oh, one thing that I do like as well, I really enjoy this trigger. It's very nicely serrated. It's not aggressive. It's not hard. It's just nice. The contact points are nice. So I'm going to give you my subjective impressions of this double action trigger. Ooh. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's very good. So what's interesting about this DA trigger is that there's no discernible lockup point on it. On Smith & Wessons and on Ruger's, you can stage it to a point where you can sort of feel the gun lock up, right? Where the cylinder has rotated fully, the hammer is fully locked back, and then all you have to do is like add a little bit. And because of the geometry of the Colt spring, the way it's designed, there is none of that. So what you get is a smooth, consistent trigger pull all the way through. And that is really good. That is the best feeling double action trigger on a factory revolver, not counting the Korth that I tested at SHOT Show a couple of years ago. But the Korth also costs $3,500 for an entry-level model. This costs a lot less than that. Let's see how the single action feels. Not bad. There's a little bit of creep right before it breaks that I can feel, just very little right there, and then it breaks. Not bad. So let's do something a little bit more scientific than just dry firing it, and let's compare it to some real guns. What I have here is my Lyman trigger pull gauge, and I'm going to take 3 measurements of the trigger and then give you the average, pulling right here from the center, if I remember how to use this thing. First one was 6.6 pounds, 7.9 ounces. Slightly more, what I think is slightly more accurate, 8 pounds, 7.3 ounces. And last but not least, 7 pounds, 3 ounces. So that gives us an average trigger pull of 7 pounds, 6.1 ounces. And now let's do the single action. We'll just do one of these just for gigs because I don't think single action matters that much. 4.5, 4 ounces, 4 pounds, 5 ounces. Not bad. Now, what I'm interested to see is how that stacks up against some guns that we might consider to be in the Colt's competitive set. Here, we have a Ruger GP100 Match Champion. This is one of my personal guns, and it's a gun that I've modified. So I've changed the trigger parts on this to give it a better trigger than the factory trigger. And let's see. Make sure that's cleared out. First pull was 7 pounds, 3.2 ounces. £6, 3.6 ounces. 6 pounds, 5.4 ounces. So our average for this is 6 pounds, 9.4 ounces, and that's a heavily modified trigger. I had to do a ton of work on that trigger to get it to be slightly better than the factory trigger on this Colt Python. So that's an impressive, this Python's got an impressive trigger. And just for fun, we're going to measure one more gun. That's right, we're going to measure the modern fighting revolver. Let's see how good this one is. Okay, that's going to be the best because this is actually the best trigger here. There's no question in my mind. Yeah. I think that last reading might be slightly artificially low, but that's okay. Our average for those is 4 pounds, 1 ounce, and it cracks primers. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is we're talking about this Python, and to get that trigger in the Smith & Wesson 586 L Comp and to get that trigger in the Ruger GP100, I had to buy a bunch of parts, and I had to invest time and energy into making that trigger good. This gun doesn't actually cost a whole lot more than either of those guns at retail, and the factory trigger on it is so very much better. Next thing we're going to cover real quick is holsters. What holsters work with the Python? I have here several holsters that are designed for guns of equivalent size. Again, here's your Python, and I'm going to overlay that GP100 over the top of it. So you'll see that the GP100 and the Python are almost exactly the same size. I mean, they're nearly identical in size. So with the GP100 out of the picture, what holsters work for the Python? Well, we're going to start with this. This is a Galco Combat Master for Ruger GP100s. This, in my opinion, is the best leather revolver holster, really the best leather OWB holster that is mass-produced and readily available. So let's just slow, like a glove that fits. What do you think, guys? You think this should be my new carry gun while I'm testing it? I think so. That is just beautiful. Woof! Let's check some of my Kydex holsters. Up next, we have a JM Custom Kydex holster. This is for the 3-inch GP100, the Wiley clap that I carried, but again, it fits right in. You got a little, maybe you might want to see a doctor about a barrel lasting longer than 4 inches. I got jokes. I'm an idiot. Now, last but not least, and it's going to take me a second to unwind this sucker from my belt, is the holster that I have been carrying the modern fighting revolver in, which is a custom job, also from JM Custom Kydex. It was designed to fit an L frame with an Aimpoint acro. You can see here it's quite the rig, and it was designed for a 4-inch gun because that gives me a little bit more stability. Let's slide her in. Ooh. So I could carry a Colt Python appendix in a Kydex holster. Who wants to see me do that? I have got a Safariland Comp 3 right here. This is the Comp 3 that's designed to fit GP100s and 6-shot L frames. And it looks like the hole pattern is correct, and what's actually happening right now is it's hanging up on the Colt's grips. So it's hanging right here on this stock. Since the speed loader was binding with the grip on, I decided I would take the grips off and see if it worked, and it turns out it does not. So Safariland Comp 3 loaders do not work with the gun. Anyway, so that's your initial unboxing and impressions of the new Colt Python. It's gorgeous. It looks great. The trigger's nice. It fits all of my GP100 or L-frame holsters. We are going to shoot this. There's going to be more videos about it. And most importantly, make sure to check out Shooting Illustrated in about a month, maybe a couple of months' time, to see the first article after I burn 1,000 rounds through this gun. I'm Caleb Giddings. Thanks for watching.